Genesis chapter 2. And the heavens and the earth were finished, and all their host. And on the seventh day God completed his work which he had made. And he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. And God blessed the seventh day, and sanctified it, because he rested from all his work on it, which God had created to make. These are the births of the heavens and of the earth when they were created in the day that Jehovah was making earth and heavens. And every shrub of the field was not yet on the earth, and every plant of the field had not yet sprung up, for Jehovah God had not sent rain on the earth, and there was no man to till the ground. And mist went up from the earth, and watered the whole face of the ground. And Jehovah God formed man out of dust from the ground, and blew into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. And Jehovah God planted a garden in Eden, to the east, and he put the man whom he had formed there. And out of the ground Jehovah God made to spring up every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food. The tree of life was also in the middle of the garden, also the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from there it was divided and became 4 heads. The name of the first was Peasant. It is the one surrounding all the land of Havilah, where gold is. And the gold of that land is good. There is bdellium, gum resin, and the onyx stone. And the name of the second river is Gihon. It is the one surrounding all the land of Cush. And the name of the third river is Hiddekel. It is the one going east of Assyria. And the fourth river is Euphrates. And Jehovah God took the man and put him into the garden of Eden, to work it and to keep it. And Jehovah God commanded the man, saying, You may freely eat of every tree in the garden, but of the tree of knowledge of good and evil you may not eat, for in the day that you eat of it you shall surely die. And Jehovah God said, It is not good, the man being alone. I will make a helper suited to him. And Jehovah God formed every animal of the field, and every bird of the heavens out of the ground, and he brought them to the man to see what he would call it. And all which the man might call it, each living soul, that was its name. And the man called names to all the cattle, and to the bird of the heavens, and to every animal of the field. But no helper suited to him was found for a man. And Jehovah God caused a deep sleep to fall on the man, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs, and closed up the flesh underneath. And Jehovah God formed the rib which he had taken from the man into a woman, and brought her to the man. And the man said, This now at last is bone of my bones, and flesh from my flesh. For this shall be called woman, because this has been taken out of man. Therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and they were not ashamed. Matthew chapter 2. Now when Jesus had been born in Bethlehem, Bethlehem, of Judea in the days of Herod the king, behold, wise men arrived from the east to Jerusalem, Jerusalem, saying, Where is he born King of the Jews? For we saw his star in the east, and have come to worship him. But Herod the king, having heard this, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. And having gathered all the chief priests and scribes of the people, he asked of them where the Christ was to be born. And they said to him, In Bethlehem of Judea, for so it has been written by the prophet. And you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, in no way are you least among the governors of Judah, for out of you shall come a governor who shall shepherd my people Israel. Then secretly calling the wise men, Herod asked of them exactly the time of the star appearing. And sending them to Bethlehem, he said, Going, search carefully for the child, and when you find him, bring me word again, so coming I may also worship him. And having heard the king, they departed. And behold, the star which they saw in the east went before them until it had come and stood over where the child was. And seeing the star, they rejoiced exceedingly with a great joy. And having come into the house, they saw the child with his mother Mary, Miriam. And falling down, they worshipped him. And opening their treasures, they presented gifts to him, gold, and frankincense, and myrrh. And having been warned by a dream not to return to Herod, they went away into their own country by another way. And they having departed, an angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph, Yosef, by a dream, saying, Rise up, take the child and his mother with you, and flee into Egypt, and be there until I shall tell you. For Herod is about to look for the child in order to destroy him. And rising up, he took along the child and his mother by night, and withdrew into Egypt. And he was there until the end of Herod, that might be fulfilled that spoken by the Lord through the prophet, saying, Out of Egypt I have called my son. Then, seeing that he was mocked by the wise men, Herod was greatly enraged, and having sent, he killed all the boys in Bethlehem and in all its districts, from 2 years old and under, according to the time which he exactly asked from the wise men. Then was fulfilled that spoken by Jeremiah the prophet, saying, A voice was heard in Ramah, wailing and bitter weeping, and great mourning. Rachel weeping for her children, and would not be comforted, because they were not. But Herod having expired, behold, an angel of the Lord appears to Joseph in a dream in Egypt, saying, Rising up, take along the child and his mother, and pass over into the land of Israel, for those seeking the soul of the child have expired. And rising up, he took along the child and his mother, and came into the land of Israel. But hearing that Archelaus reigned over Judea in place of his father Herod, he feared to go there. And being warned by a dream, he departed into the parts of Galilee. And coming, he lived in a city called Nazareth, Nazrat, so as to fulfill that spoken by the prophets, He shall be called a Nazarene.